Yo, YouTube, what's up? I'm Tim. He's AC. The Green Bay Packers are your Super Bowl champions, and I don't know how many times I've heard in the last day, the Lombardi Trophy is coming back home to Titletown. Well, you guys got most of my thoughts last night. AC, what were your thoughts on this game?
One of the best Super Bowls I've seen in a while, and I think you would agree with that. It was a really a thrilling game. The Steelers tried to come back. It just ends up being too little, too late, in my opinion. They put on a charge, and like we always say, Big Ben's one of the most clutch in the game. He couldn't get it done. He wasn't communicating with his receivers very well, I guess, on that last drive. Something went wrong. Who knows? But the important thing is the Lombardi Trophy is coming back home to Titletown. 13 NFL championships, the most in history, and that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it kills me as an Eagles fan. We're a big city here, and we can't get a ring, but they can go get 4 now. All right, I don't think this really was a great Super Bowl. I gotta, is there a play you're really gonna remember from? I mean, I look at the Giants Super Bowl, the Giants Patriots, and the Steelers Cardinals. I look at those as great Super Bowls. I don't want to say this one's forgettable, but there's nothing that really stands out to me. I mean, there were a few big plays that basically were all the points, but there wasn't anything special to me about this game. I don't know, maybe there wasn't anything. I'm not going to remember this as the great. When my kids ask me what the greatest Super Bowl I've ever seen was, this isn't one that's going to come into my head, I guess.
I tend to agree with that, because there wasn't that one big standout player, that one big standout star, but you can't take away that Aaron Rodgers had a phenomenal game. 300 yards, 340 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. Only 2 others have ever done that in the history of the game, in the history of the Super Bowl, that is, would be Joe Montana and Steve Young.
No, I mean, it was a great individual performance. I don't know. Halftime show. Everyone is... I've heard like 90% of people killing this, and then I was listening to LA Secback last night on Fan House and YouTube. He's a reporter. He said the Black Eyed Peas stole the show. It was one of the best halftime concerts I've ever seen. So I didn't think it was good, but I think the thing you got to remember is, rap kind of is made in a studio. There's a certain element to that I don't know what people were expecting. Partially it is due to auto-tune, and I don't understand what people were expecting out of that show. I thought the Usher thing was kind of lame, considering he didn't sing. I thought that Slash and Fergie thing was good, but hey, I mean, I'm not going to look at this as the worst halftime show ever. I think, with all due respect, Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake have that one topped off.
I'd agree with that statement right there, with Janet Jackson being the best halftime show ever. But yeah, I don't understand why people expected more than they got. It's an they do use auto-tune, and they're more of a pop band.
Yeah, I mean, we like the Black Eyed Peas. We're not hating on it. It was the people who refused to join the times and still listen to music from the 30s that were bashing this one. And I mean, if you don't care, then don't watch. But you're running out of people. Let's look at some of the older bands that performed. The Rolling Stones sucked. I mean, it wasn't even funny. They were horrible. Paul McCartney was pretty good. There were a few guys that were good. Bruce Springsteen was good. Prince was good. But I mean, there's only so many old people you can bring out there before they all die, or it gets to the point where they're too old and don't want to perform. I mean, you got all the classic people out there. It's time, the whole Janet Jackson wardrobe malfunction thing, it's kind of worn off. It's time to move back into the new generation. It wasn't... I thought the Usher thing, when will.i.am was singing in that song, I thought that was good. I mean, I don't know. The final thing for me, I think the Super Bowl has got to come north. I mean, I cannot watch another Super Bowl in a dome. There is no atmosphere. There's no nothing. I don't know. I mean, I'd at least put the game outside. But I would much rather see it up north, where I will remember a snowing Super Bowl. I'm not going to remember this one for the weather. I'll be like, where was it? Oh, it was in a dome. I mean, I'm going to remember a snowing Super Bowl. I'm going to remember the game. I want it in Lambeau Field. That's where I want the Super Bowl.
Oh, that'd be great. When I think of football, I don't think of 75, 65 degrees in a dome or in Miami or in San Diego. I don't think of that. I think of that for baseball season and soccer, even though that's not really a sport.
Yeah, it is.
But I think of snow in football. I think of snow. I think of muddy fields and people knocking the crap out of each other, and that's what football is. I mean, and that's not what we see in the Super Bowl. And I do agree it needs to come north, and it will in the Meadowlands. But you never know what you're going to get up here in New York. You might get freezing rain. You might get snow. You might get nothing. So we'll see.
Global warming. I mean, I don't know. The people in Dallas are all panicked. They got like 1 inch of snow this week. That's like a record for them. We're up here getting like 10 inches a week now, and I mean the snow has been pretty bad this year. Every Tuesday this year it snows. I mean I don't understand why people are so afraid of it though. Maybe you've never seen it, but the bottom line, people say, oh, it's going to give the northern team an advantage. Well, doesn't playing in warm weather give the warm weather team an advantage? I mean, the Super Bowl is supposed to be about the product on the field. And when it rains in Miami, I don't see how that's too much different than when it's snowing up north. The ball's going to slip. That's part of the game, though. I mean, you have to adjust to that. That's the same as what you're doing in the regular season. I don't see why that's any different.
If you're going to say that it gives the northern teams an advantage with the weather, then what if you got a team that plays on natural grass versus a team that plays on AstroTurf, and you have it in a dome?
Yeah, I mean,
I'd say the same thing.
That's less of an advantage, but it's still an advantage. I mean, I don't think there's any denying that. I think it needs to come north. I don't understand why people are afraid of this idea. What if it does snow? Who cares? I mean, it's snow. It doesn't kill you. And the chances are they're going to have it all cleared off. If it's snowing during the game, great. That's what football's about. It's about snow, cold weather, getting hit in the mouth. You know, fumbling the football. It's not about this, oh, well, let's go to Jerry's Palace and watch Cameron Diaz put popcorn in Aroyd's mouth because he's the biggest tool of all time. I mean, it's just stupid.
It's really dumb. It is. I don't understand what the big deal is either, but I guess we never will, us northern folk.
Yeah, us northern folk. So, in the end, if you have to remember this Super Bowl and sum it up in one line, what would you say?
Lombardi Trophy coming home. That's the only thing that I can think of, because this was a really big win for the Packers, and like you've said, I think this could be the beginning of a dynasty for the Packers, because they're a team that's on the younger side. Aaron Rodgers being a younger quarterback who's still got a lot of life left in him, and who showed me a lot in this game. The wide receivers got to clean it up, and if when they get Ryan Grant back, look out.
I wouldn't be surprised if they go in another direction at running back. I mean, but you're right. I mean, I called into Idiot Sports Talk this week, and they told me, they kind of laughed at me when I said this could be the beginning of a dynasty with the Packers. They said, oh, they didn't win the division. You know, at the bottom line, the Packers have a young defense. I know Woodson's not young, and at this point, I know he just signed an extension. He won a Super Bowl. He's got a broken collarbone. I wouldn't be shocked if he calls it quits. But, I mean, the Packers are a young team. They got a young defense. They got, except Driver, very young receivers. Running backs you interchange every 2 or 3 years anyway. This could be a team that, I mean, Rodgers has a Super Bowl. He's 27. I would not be shocked if next year the Packers won. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised by it. The Packers have the pieces there, as you said, to win it, to have a dynasty. I mean, it could be there. I don't know if it will be. But at the very least, and I summed this up on Idiot Sports Talk, I said maybe dynasty is the wrong word, but I could certainly see the Packers in the Super Bowl 2 or 3 times over the next 7 or 8 seasons. I don't think that's out of the question. I think there's a better chance of that happening than it not happening. If I have to sum this Super Bowl up, I'll say good game, not as good as some of the ones we've been treated to previously, but it's probably better than last year. Good game, Rodgers begins something. You know, I think this is kind of a to-be-continued thing, and you got to see where the Packers go with it. I'm Tim.
Yeah, definitely. There's no doubt that Rodgers is definitely showing the leadership qualities of becoming possibly the next Tom Brady or the next Peyton Manning.
That's where I gotta draw the line, though.
I'm not saying it will happen, but it's showing